Alrighty. So I'm just using a mixture of, just get a sense of the ball of this hay here. Mixture of, this is yellow ochre and black, something like that. And I'm just gonna put, now I'm using oil paper, so I cannot, I think it's oil paper. Cannot guarantee it's gonna do what I want it to do. Maybe I might have to do this a different way. So I'm looking at to see where that dark area is, just like on the, like a ball. It's kind of down here, but I'm actually gonna put it all over. I think this might be watercolor paper, I don't know. Guess we'll find out. Yeah, so I'm just gonna get in there, get nice and dark. So because it's such a kind of random ball, you want to make sure your marks aren't too even or uniform. Okay, I'm going to come in with a little bit lighter area here. This has just got a little bit of white in it, same mixture. And you can kind of, and I'm actually, this is a bristle brush. These are kind of my new favorites. So bristles will give you a more naturalistic kind of look. This looks really brown on here. Just kind of pulling some off. Now, because this is absorbing my paint, I can scumble pretty easily, which is what I just did here. You can kind of see it just sort of sits on the top. I can just, and you can use the pressure, so you don't have to like push hard. You can just kind of pull, just to give it a sort of softness. I'm gonna grab a little bit of another color. Yeah, so this is kind of a, so this one I mixed Cad Red Deep, sorry, excuse me, Cad Yellow Deep. And I'm just sort of, right now we're creating sort of a history of marks so that when we come and be a little more specific, it's gonna, it'll have some stuff underneath that will have already helped us out. Like it'll create kind of a little, I don't know, background area. Okay, so I'm gonna grab, I don't know, a round brush. And, you know, I don't paint hay very much, so I just kind of try to, yeah, it's not light enough. Hold on. All right, so like, you can kind of get a few. Again, this is the scumbling is kind of doing a lot. But notice how I use the brush. You don't have to use it one certain way. Like I can just kind of drag. Probably like still doesn't look like hay, which you're right, you would be right. But sometimes we get really used to, like, it's not a house paintbrush, which I know you know, but we tend to forget when we use the brush, we can use it any way we need to get marks. So I'm gonna thin my paint down just a little bit with some solvent. You would use medium, but I'm not that set up right now. So I can get some over here. And now this would look different if it was dark too around here. So maybe I'll do a second one with a dark background. But I'm just kind of giving you a sense of textures. I'm not worried about much right now. I'm gonna get some of that dark back in, and you can actually come in, you kind of look for the shapes it's making, the generic shapes like triangles and stuff. I'm gonna change brushes. Something a little either stiffer or thinner. I'm trying to think what would work. Maybe even One of my favorite brushes to use is a dagger like this. It's harder to control, which is good because when you can't control it, you can't do the same old marks you always do. So I'm just grabbing a little bit of this dark, and I'm just going to come in. And remember, any mark that you put in, you can cover up again. So I'm creating some little shadows between hay. And again, I'm just sort of laying it in there. And I'm not too concerned. Again, really light pressure, really avoiding things that look too generic or too patterny. And I can also come in, I found a tool, one of these rubber shaper tools. It's just rubber on the top, and you can start cutting through. Now, right now, just kind of breaking up those lines a bit to make it look a little crazier. It's looking kind of hay-like. I have to mix just a little bit more yellow and black. I'm gonna go slightly darker. Ooh, that's too dark. Here, so I got some here. All right, so it's really dark. So I'm gonna just come in here and again, maybe some shapes down here. Because I see it as it's all bundled up, and I need to get those darks back in. And then I can come in with light again. So let me grab some light. And the more paint, the better. Then it will stick better. Now, I don't like this surface to drop paint on, that's for sure. It's giving me a really hard time. But just trying to give you a sense here of what we can do with it. I mean, even that, it's kind of convincing that there's hay. And I could even kind of drag this here. It's a bit much. But I can always come in and pull it back out. Or I have another one here. Just kind of, you want to get that kind of crazy, this is that bibbity bobbity boo thing I was telling you about. You don't always know what's going to happen. You're just trying to make it not look like the painter's hand in there. And this will give you some nice sort of hay marks. And oh, I'm cutting into it now. This is kind of cool. Kind of hear me do it. And then when it dries a little, I can put some more on the top.